Hey there, it's Quinn with PTSD While Black. Um, Practicing a little balloon twisting today. It's been the first time for a while of getting back into doing balloons since the seizure. I had a seizure in my sleep last Monday, and then I had a seizure while reading in a meeting on Friday. Um, so it's getting back to balance, getting back to who I am. Still having some issues with language. And especially I've spent the day twisting this really cool bouquet. I'm really loving it, and I just need to put some weights into it so that it can stand upright. But yeah, things like working on balloon art take brain power for me. And the things that I did this in this week post seizure were mostly like I would rest and stay in bed and I would do karaoke on the phone. And even that reading of the scrolling of words was challenging for me. But yeah, what I wanted to talk about is I have this like extreme awkwardness um around how I'm aware this week of how needy I am post seizure. Like that I need to connect. That I need to know that I'm okay and accepted. Because I don't feel okay within this body. So I'm aware of those emotions and the ways that I will like constantly follow up on things because I feel like I'm overly responsible because I wasn't following up. And so that's like too much communication for some people. um, Whereas most of society now responds with a one line text message at best or two words. So yeah, I'm very aware that there's this emotional side that shows up post seizure for me and that I'm powerless over it, but I can recognize the impact of it. And now I need to add that to my seizure plan. On my seizure action plan, there is this for emotional imbalance. Where is this coming from? Call a friend, journal, cry, or read some sort of literature to normalize myself. So that's what I'm kind of getting into doing is how can I'm going to show you more of my messy room here, but how can I normalize myself? Camera's crooked. Yeah, you can see my creative splash over there. Oh, the other bouquets on the kitchen table. But yeah, how can I validate? How can I normalize myself? I was on a group with other women and we were doing this really deep discussion. And I've realized this entire last week that my PTSD triggers are really high post seizure. There's this emotional awareness of the PTSD. And I guess it's really that connection in with being powerless. It's that I'm powerless over the traumas that I've experienced, and I'm powerless over this trauma that happens to my body upon occasion. It's been a long time since I've had one of these, so I'm like, so I'm really aware of that balance of what's going on. And so it's like, how can I be more accountable to myself when I have these emotional flare ups? Because sometimes journaling isn't something I can do because words are hard for me to come up with. Vlogging is hard for me to do. It's so much better than it was in the past because I couldn't form words. Now I can. I can form words better, but still there's the stuttering and the whatnot that goes on with it. But yeah, I'm recognizing that when I have these episodes, I probably need to vlog more. Okay. And making phone calls are challenging for me because if I'm not talking to someone who understands what it's like to have your brain be disrupted and language being impacted or emotions being impacted, it's really challenging. So I have a handful of people that I could call, and I do need to call them and just leave them voicemails saying this is what's going on within me. Yeah, I'm going to have this responsibility for emotional hygiene with my seizure-like episodes. By the way, they have still not been diagnosed because EEGs come up normal, but I have these maybe once every few months, these little brain disruptions, whatever the hell we want to call them. They're close to around my period most often. But like I'm finding I obsess about things more. I don't care if it was like my friend telling me that her ex-husband's getting remarried. I'm obsessed about it. I'm sad as if it's happening to me. Someone dies, or like my friend told me her grandmother died. I was obsessed about it, even though it's removed from me. And yes, these are sad and horrible things, and I really it hurts to see, for me to see others going through pain, but it's like so intense for me. Even though that's why that question's up there, where is this coming from? Is this mine? And it's not really mine, but that I love this person and I'm sorry that they're going through this situation. And that I'm powerless over the fact they're going through this situation. And so then the other thing that comes up for me is like I was socializing on this singing app when I was laying in bed, and it's like, oh, I got so excited when I learned that one of the singers is also doing like ASMR videos and stuff like that. I'm like, that's exciting. That's amazing. Oh my God, I want to support you in whatever you do. I'm going to be more excited about it than you are. So it's also the same way when something good is happening for someone else, I will feel it intensely. And that I feel like I'm responsible for that good thing staying good. So codependency, it's fucking codependency. It's amplified post-seizure for me. And so I'm just recognizing what a pain in the ass I can be. And that I have this responsibility to check in with my emotions, and knowing that it's just a trigger, that I can't control what just happened here, especially when it happened in my sleep. I really couldn't control it. I had no real response for it. All I knew was in my dream, I think I've already blogged about this, but in my dream, I felt that I was being drug around a room, mostly pulled on the right side of my body, being drug around a room by some sort of force. And the brain injury is on the left side of my head, so that makes sense. That it's just like this intense pulling feeling. And then I woke up fatigued, dizzy, stuttering, having to use my cane again, which I haven't been using my cane for about a month now, around the house. And so I had to use the cane again to get around the house, for fear of falling over. So, yeah, so I just notice these things happen. And it's because I was under a lot of stress. I was under a lot of stress, and I was getting up earlier in the morning for all these little volunteer meetings and things that I'm doing. And I've recently just dropped out of them because I'm like, there's no way. It's not worth my health to volunteer, to do service and to get up early. I just need to accept that this body that I have functions, the earliest is 9 a.m. Pacific. And I should not try to get up at 8 or 7. And right now, because the sun is, oh, that's why I probably have more seizures at this time. Okay, because the sun is coming up earlier. And or the sun is returning, basically. We're coming out of winter, and the sun's returning in spring. And so that's hitting my circadian rhythm. So I really have to get to bed early during this time. I think that's also part of the solution, which is challenging because my husband works late. So I just want to see my husband for the spring. That's all. Until the equinox. But yeah, getting up earlier and just waking up earlier, it's really hitting me hard. Yeah, I'm gonna go back to sleeping with the eye mask, but it's uncomfortable. I need to go back to sleeping with that. Okay, good thing that we talked it out. Good talk. All right, I'm going to finish making more pearls to put on my lovely bouquet. All right, see you next time, peeps.